What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Johnny Dude. I'm coming at you with another video about your baseball superstars 2022, my boys. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and do a tier list on the scenarios, my boys. This is long overdue. We're waiting for the new scenario in order to see how it would be and if the new scenario would be like super good or something. And unfortunately, my boys, it has not been great. So we're going to start off this tier list, which is Steam Boys. Yes, we have Steam Boys in here right now, my boys. Mechanical Steam Boys. I'm going to go ahead and put that right there in the freaking F tier because come on now. This scenario trash. Nobody really running this scenario. It is what it is. It's there to make bots, my boys. When we don't feel like using our freaking resources, development points, we just go ahead and pop in some Steam Boys for some Lecter trade fodder. So we're putting it in here this time in the scenario tier list right here in the big old F pile, my boys. Then we're gonna go ahead and do MU. MU we're gonna drop right here in the RRR tier. MU used to be really great. It just needs a buff now. It's outdated. I mean, you could still make some triple R players here, but it's really outdated. One day they may buff MU, and when they buff it, then we'll see what we can make from that point. But as of now, you're not making M tier quality players in MU. You're just gonna be able to make maybe some up to triple R's, and that's it. And trust me, it's not even easy making those triple R's in MU. But that's where we're gonna put it at, right there in that tier. Gameville, my boys, we're gonna drop that right there in double R tier, my boys. Gameville Superstars is what it is. It's a starting scenario. It's not meant to be anything that's super good or to make high ranking players. It's just there to basically let you know how to play the game and how to get going on the game on developing players. You're not making high tier players with this at all. Trying to make an M player in here is impossible. If you ever get that high, then you got extremely lucky, and kudos to you. Pumas, my boys. Pumas, we're gonna put right here in RR tier, and my mistake, triple R tier. We're gonna put it right above MU. Pumas got updated. The update really didn't make Pumas anything like where it was like, oh my god, it was so amazing. Pumas still is what it is. To me, I give it a slight edge over MU, at least on pitching side. You can make some decent pitchers in Pumas. You can get all the way up to an M tier pitcher in Pumas, but you're not gonna really get past M tiers in Pumas. But it is there. Another starting scenario. Every time they buff Pumas so much in the game, and every time they buff it, it's never enough. They really just need to go with a massive buff on Pumas so it can be a scenario that we can say, oh man, remember that time Pumas was good. Pumas has never had a time to shine. I'm hoping one day it does. River City High. We're gonna pick River City High right here in RR tier. God, River City High is just terrible to me. It's bad. It's needs to be changed. I'm hoping one day we actually see this scenario get some love. To me, it's probably the worst scenario in the game. I'll probably play Gameville Superstars over River City High. Because River City High is just so bad. It hasn't aged well at all. So I'm putting River City High right here in the RR tier below Gameville because it's aged so bad. And even when you're doing the little scenario event where you play the little Game Boy, you have to do that at the end of the week, and you have to have high stamina to do it, which defeats the purpose because now you're wasting a lot of stamina. But when you start the next week, but at the end of the day, just needs to be changed. Needs a massive overhaul for River City High. ZK. ZK, I'm gonna pit. I can pit this either or. It's basically tied with MU. I'll give MU a slight edge. Yeah, I'll give MU the slight edge over ZK. You can go either or with ZK and MU. To be honest, both of them they are what they are. You're not gonna be making, like I said, M quality players from ZK or MU really. So they are right here, and that's just what it is. ZK, it's been around for a while. They have buffed it as well. It's just really not that great of a scenario, to be honest. It really needs a major overhaul, just like Pumas, just like MU, in order for it to really shine. As of now, it's definitely going to be right there in that triple R tier. Not going to really make high ranking players from here. Forest Elves. I'm going to pick Forest Elves right here in the M tier. Forest Elves, it's a great scenario for making pictures and only pictures, but you can get better results from other scenarios. Forest Elves needs a buff. It needs to basically be like Victory Swallows, but you know, in a Forest Elf manner. But if you buffed Forest Elves to Victory Swallows, to where how the towels are in Victory Swallows, then Forest Elves would be really, really great. You'd be like, oh man, like Forest Elves is amazing. But right now, you can still make some M tier pictures from it, and that's the high end M tier pictures. You're most likely not gonna make anything past the M2 in Forest Elves, and that would have to be a god run, my boy. But you can make some M tier pictures still on the Leaf Pitcher and starting pitcher side for Forest Elves, but it's just not as good as other scenarios, and we'll talk about that in a minute, my boys. Victory Swallows, I'm gonna give it a slight edge over Forest Elves. Still in the same tier, still M tier. Slight edge over Forest Elves. The problem with Victory Swallows is not the scenario itself. The scenario itself is fine. You get a lot of stats from the towels. You get a lot of sub stats from towels. You get the training reward all plus 40%, the plus 60% training success rate. Like, it's got some really good stuff in there. The problem with it is the trainer synergy is just terrible, my boys. Terrible. I mean, I don't think they could have made any worse trainer synergy than they could have than Victory Swallows. And if you take Forest Elves has perfect training synergy, but the scenario itself is just not as good anymore. But Victory Swallows is completely opposite. The worst trainer synergy in the game, but the scenario itself is actually really, really good. If they ever change the thing, or if property system comes out and you can start putting stats on the trainers, Victory Swallows may be like M plus tier, maybe even, I don't think it'll be MM, to be honest, maybe M plus tier. But as of now, it's gonna be M tier until they do some changes on it, until they do add the property system, things like that. But it could change in the future. Perfect Lions, formerly Summoner Wars, is definitely gonna be M plus tier, my boys. I freaking used to love this scenario. It's still a good scenario for pitching, still a good scenario for batting if you don't have Shining Angels trainers, my boys. This is the best bang for your buck in scenarios, because the thing about Perfect Lions or Summoner Wars, I still personally call it Summoner Wars because that's what it was when we got it. But the thing about Perfect Lions is you can do this scenario with any trainer and still make high quality players. Any deck still make high quality players, because you have the tolerance room you can get, and that's gonna basically give you a nice good floor to go with. So Perfect Line's still good. Even with the pitching side, you can still make great pitchers in Perfect Lines as well. Still high deck pitchers for relief pitcher, for freaking starting pitcher, and for closing pitcher. Like, it's still a great scenario, best bang for your buck, because you can do it with any deck out there. You don't need the idols in order to do Perfect Lion. You could just whatever you have, you can go in there and run it. Build you a nice clean deck. Go in there and run it. Doesn't matter if you're trying to do a mental deck. Doesn't matter if you're trying to do an int-based build deck. Doesn't matter if you're trying to go with the actual Summoner War trainers and do a strength build deck. So that's what's great about Summoner War or Perfect Lines. Last but not least, the scenario who has taken the crown now is Shining Angels, my boys. Shining Angels is on top for the first time ever, my boys, because MU used to rule back in the day, and now Shining Angels is ruling for this time, my boys. And Shining Angels right now, if you have the idols, if you have the quad, the people you need for Shining Angels is Michaela, Rachel, Hyper, Bassett. You got them, you are making M batters any position, period. You can make M batters and Shining Angels with just those four, and who cares who the other two are. You're gonna make M tier players with that, period. Shining Angels right now is so OP. You can go all the way to an MM tier player in Shining Angels. Only scenario where you're gonna be hitting MM tier players. You may be able to hit an MM tier player for a closing picture in Summoner Wars, but Shining Angels, you can hit an MM for a third base, you can hit an MM for center fielder, you can hit MM for starting pitcher with Michaela as a pitcher in the pitching deck. Michaela, so, like Shining Angels are so OP, you're using a batter in the pitching deck and still making MM tier quality players. It's Shining Angels right now is just so OP. It's a great scenario right now to run. And the good thing about Shining Angels is that Rachel and Michaela, they get these special trainings for all of week 3, all of week 5, all of week 7. You know, making the RNG just a little bit less. And then you have Hyper and Bassett with the int and the decks just come along and tag on either or and still give you big trainings, man. It's like the perfect scenario to run right now. I'm hoping even when they do bring in other scenarios and everything, it's more of a balance. So, you know, you still have the option of running Shining Angels instead of just it becoming obsolete in like 6 months. Or, you know, if we talk about Summoner Wars, maybe it was like 3 months, and now Summoner Wars is just obsolete compared to Shining Angels. I'm looking for more of that balance, but there you are, my boys. That's gonna be it for today's video. This is gonna be your tier list as of now for Baseball Superstars 2022. I don't think there's anything that we really can change. So if you guys think there is something that off to you on my list, then why don't you let me know with leaving a comment below. Alright, my boys, y'all have a good one. Make sure y'all stay safe out there. Peace, my boys.